Governor. Sergeant Atam, you may show the Governor where to sit.
Kiambu Governor Waititu shocked the world as he tabled a budget that he couldn't explain its authenticity. Under his government, Kiambu County Government allocates 500 million Kenyan shillings to support peace progress in South Sudan, 900 million Kenyan shillings for State House functions, and 180 million Kenyan shillings for emoluments for retired presidents.
I, Ferdinand Waititu Babayao, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee in respect of matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Page 18. Page 18 of your financial statements, where you have listed your budget execution by programs and sub-programs. Are we there? I want us to look at it jointly. Are you on that page? Page 18? So, starting from page 17, you have provided the budget for various departments in Kiambu County. I want us to look at the budget for Kiambu County Public Service Board. And coming to page 18, there is a budget line entitled State House Affairs. Are you seeing that, Governor? State House Affairs.
State corporations.
Page, are we looking at page 18?
Yeah.
The financial statements that you gave to the Auditor General has got a budget line on State House Affairs. 704000000. No, I'm not seeking an explanation for now. I just want to confirm whether you are seeing the same thing.
Yes, I am.
You are seeing a budget line, State House Affairs, isn't it?
Functions. State House functions.
Governor, can you read what you submitted to the Auditor General?
Yes.
It is entitled State House
Affairs. Yes.
Affairs. Underneath, there is a line called Coordination of State House Functions. 973,839,449.
Yes.
Kiambu County. Coordination of State House Functions. 973 million. Below it, administration of statutory benefits for the retired presidents. 180,506,800. These are budget lines for Kiambu County Government, not national government. When you go down, Governor, to the bottom of that page, under Administration, Public Service and Communication, you've got a line, a budget line, 70302 with 4 zeros. No, 70301 with 4 zeros. A line called State Corporations Advisory Services. 591,610,204. So remember, coordination of State House functions, 973 million. Administration of statutory benefits for retired presidents, 180 million. State Corporations Advisory Services, 591 million. If you go further, I don't want to belabor the point, you will find that County Government of Kiambu has a budget line on Kenya South Sudan Advisory Services, 58,108,000. And when you go further, on page 20, under Education, Gender, Culture and Social Services, Kiambu County Government has a budget line for free primary education at 804 million. Now, if you look at those numbers, they are not adding up. Is it Kiambu County Government that is financing State House? That is paying statutory benefits for retired presidents? That is supporting the peace process in South Sudan? That is supporting free primary education? This cannot be a qualified opinion. And I'm not going to, I'll allow you to respond. As I said, you came here to have a conversation with us, so I'll give you the opportunity. But I just want us to first share our views as a committee on why we think that that report form needs to be subjected to further scrutiny.
Yes.
Any member who wants to contribute? Let me start with Professor Ongeri.
Yes, Chair. You remember when I took the floor, I did say that I'm not comfortable to debate.
See, Mr. Chairman, is that what I've just seen is also new to me, honestly. I think it's a misuse of template of the national government, because nobody could have assumed that we could have such figures in our county. And you know very well that we don't have a budget line for those things, and so there is no expense at all. But because I have my CEC who is here, I would beg that he comments on that, please.
Governor, is this the same CEC who signed on 28th of September that the statements present a fair picture?
I have somebody.
Is this a CEC who confirms the completeness of the accounting records, and who confirms that the financial statements give a true and fair view of the state of county government's transactions?
No, he's not the one, but we have somebody who was there.
It is the office, isn't
it?
it?
It is the office, I think.
So what else is there to be said?
No, I just want to also to hear.
If there is that commitment signed,
I think honestly, Mr. Chairman.
And before this, I believe, must have been discussed even in your presence within cabinet.
Yeah.
So what else is there for the CEC to tell us today?
Honestly, because
when he has already made that confirmation,
because
that
we
this
came for
presents
dialogue.
a true and fair
Having
picture.
come for dialogue.
Chair, I'm very curious, both as a nominated senator and a resident of Kiambu, to hear the governor feigning ignorance of his own budget. Chair, how can we be told by the governor that this is a misuse of a national government template? Does it mean, Chair, that Kiambu County Government does not have its own template 9 years after devolution? And does it mean that these budgets are only approved as a matter of procedure without proper scrutiny? Because, Chair, it is unacceptable that a county government would have budget lines. On State House, Kiambu, there is no State House. I've never seen one. That there would be some peace process of South Sudan. I don't even think we have been able to fulfill the many cases of insecurity and violence in Kiambu County as to occasion Governor Waititu and his government to go to South Sudan to provide I don't know what kind of peace. Is this money, Chair, meant for personal use so that they are hidden under some certain nebulous budget lines?
Spent on State House?
Yes.
Or if you didn't spend on State House, how else will we know when the statements you have signed indicate that you have a budget line for State House? So
But,
there's nothing here about Kiambu and the politics. This is about the facts that are before us.
Chairman, honestly speaking, I want to believe that this report was not interfered by anybody to put in those things so that when I come here, I'll be cornered the way you are cornered. I just want to believe. Very sincerely. Very sincerely.
Could we let him just in 1 minute and then or was this completely out of order?
Please, I have not. At least I thought, because I've been with these parliamentary committees, I thought that you give time to at least to people to speak. You cannot prefer like a mob.
Knowing parliamentary procedure, you know that point of orders. Okay, let's hear the governor for 1 minute.
Yeah, but Chair, alongside,
I wanted
properly
to
within the
put my point
Yes,
straight.
just be orderly for that next 1 minute.
Yes,
yes.
My point is clear. My point is very, very clear that it is true and it is natural for people to have an interest. But honestly, I want to believe that the committee will be neutral and look at the issues as they are. And I'm apologizing that we have such such issues in the report, but I don't know how they came to my report, because we didn't spend any money. There was, and I would believe, honestly speaking, that such temperate could not have just come here by themselves. There must be somebody who.
Let me help you in that. Let me help you in that. Auditor General, the numbers that I've read, were they submitted to your office by the county government of Kiambu?
Chair, the financial statement that is attached to the report was submitted by the county of Kiambu.
So we have dealt with that. So there's no malice, there was no insertion, there was no mischief. Those are the financial statements that you submitted to the Auditor General. So you can proceed with that in mind.
Then I want to tell this committee and assure this committee that there was no money spent whatsoever on Southern Sudan. No money was spent on free education. No money was spent on State House, because we don't have a vote for that. And I also want to tell you that the variance between the IFMIS and the financial statement, this is something that everybody can understand. You know, IFMIS is controlled by Treasury, and we don't have a way of doing the reconciliation immediately. So this is something that, but we have followed up the reconciliation, and we have indicated clearly here that what the variance was. What I also wanted to tell this committee that we received our exchequer in July, and all the expenditures were committed in June. So the variances you are seeing between the cash book and even the IFMIS is because the commitments were done in June, while the payments were done in July. We were allowed by the Treasury to continue up to around the end of July. So the variance between the figures up to June and in the true payment is expected. It is something that can be explained. This one happened to all the counties because the money, the exchequer came late. But what I want to tell my friend Mr. Matangi and my senator is that as the leadership in Kiambu County, we are committed to what we promised our people. And if you have any figure that has a variance or has a difference, you are free to come to my county or even visit the assembly, which you have never visited even a single day.
Yeah, let's not get there.
We were there and had guided you accordingly. Please don't get back to trouble. Yeah, let's proceed.
What I wanted to summarize with is that as the administration in Kiambu County, we are ready either to face this, to answer questions in this budget presentation, or if you decide to have a special audit committee, we shall be ready to cooperate so that we can give the true picture as it is. And I would wish that, Mr. Chairman, from here you give a warning that people should report the truth as it has happened today, because there is a habit in Kiambu. There is a habit in Kiambu. I'm telling you, there is a habit in Kiambu that the truth is never told. And that is why I wanted to give you an example with this lady, that she was taken in for just driving a GK vehicle.
Chair, point of order.
What was out there?
Governor,
honestly, I wanted to tell
point of order, Chair.
Is that bad to say?
Point of order, Chair.
It is getting out of the substantive issues, and because if we focus on these issues, we will do justice to the people of Kiambu.
Yes, and we are ready for you to do that.
Yes. So
we welcome you to do exactly what you have said.
This committee will always support the county assemblies, because they are our brothers and sisters in oversight. Many of the conversations you're having here could have been dealt with at the county assembly. And so all the committees and the committee chairs are here. Chair of legal is here, chair of roads is here, chair of tourism is here, and trade and industry, and house leadership is also here. That is our commitment, that we must support county assemblies. Number two, our constitutional duty is to defend and protect the interest of counties and their governments. And we shall continue to do that. As long as the interests of county governments are in line with the interests of the people, we shall defend county governments. But where there is a divergence between the interests of the county government and the interests of the people, this Senate shall stand up and stand with the people rather than with the governments. Number 3, we shall scrutinize every document presented to us by the Auditor General from the first page to the last page. I heard you say that because the State House payments were not queried, so you are not prepared for them. The next time you are coming here, read your financial statements from page 1, from the cover page to the last page, because this team is committed to doing a good job to ensure that public finances are properly utilized. I want to encourage you to work on your own source revenue. Kiambu has potential. But please do not do it in a manner that causes pain to the residents of Kiambu. It is in the public domain, the uproar caused by the valuation roll and your recent directives on issues of rates. But I believe that there's a process that is going on to resolve that matter. Let us seek to collect more revenue, but let us not cause more pain to the taxpayers and residents of Kiambu. Finally, I shall then rule on the issues that we have been considering. Number 1, on delay of submission of documents, having listened to you and having considered the provisions of Section 19 of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, and also having taken into consideration your request for clemency, this committee will therefore leave it at the point of reprimand. We shall reprimand you for the delay, but we probably shall not execute the other provisions on fine and jail term unless you become a repeat offender. So you get away with a reprimand on that. Number two, we expect that you shall submit your written responses for financial year 2015-16, 2016-17, which you should have done today, which you appear not to have done, within 7 days. Failure to which the provisions of Section 19 of Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act shall apply. Number 3, considering the grave issues that we have raised on the audit report and the accompanying financial statements, this committee directs the Auditor General to undertake a special audit of Kiambu County Gov't for the financial year 2017-2018 and submit their report within 45 days. We shall have a side discussion with the Auditor General on how to practically carry out that exercise within those timelines. Number 4 is that this committee also requests the Auditor General to table, in line with Article 229, the audited accounts of Kiambu Alcoholic Drink Control Fund. I believe that is what is called car sober in street language. So we demand that the audited accounts of that fund be tabled before Parliament and before the County Assembly, in line with Article 229 of the Constitution. Members, I think that captures all that we were to deal with today.